Hello everybody and welcome to the video. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. It's very nice to see you again. So a while ago, I don't know how many, maybe a month ago, I put a request up for questions to make a Q&A video. I put it on community post and I made a short video and I got a lot of questions, and instead of making one big long video, I'm going to make 5 short videos. I've grouped them into categories. So this one is all the questions I had about traveling with my beautiful companion Abby. Now I did sit down here to be with Abby and she's gone and laid over in the sun, but I'm sure she will come back. All right, let's get into it. So just in case you don't know, I do have a playlist about traveling with a dog, and I have made a 3 other videos. One is what I do to go shopping with the dog and how I handle that. The second is about camping, where I camp, making sure it's safe for the dog, how I handle that. And the third one is the pros and cons of doing van life with a dog, and that one's a bit lighthearted and has some humor in it. But this one is answering your questions and also some other questions that I think I've had. So the first question, we're going to get very serious to start and then we'll finish on a lighter note. The first question is, what will I do when Abby passes? Will I get another dog? Now, this is something I've had to think about. Abby is now 12 and a half years old. We've been doing this for 5 years. She's getting old, and I do realize, you know, there's a good chance I will outlive her. The question as to what I will do when she passes, I really can't say. I do know that traveling with a dog is very restricting, and there are some things I would like to take advantage of doing for a period while I don't have a dog. Things like going into national parks that I'd be able to do, doing a lot of the attractions like treetop walks and things like that. So I would like to at least do some of that and experience that. But I won't know until it happens how I feel about traveling without a dog, and if I get another one, or when I do, how long will I wait? It's a really hard question to answer, but I wouldn't give up this time with Abby for anything. It's been awesome traveling with her. I've really enjoyed it. But yeah, I don't know the answer to that question. Another question that I got is about the doggy smell in the van. What do I do about odors? That's a really good question. Now, I'm very lucky, whereas Abby doesn't really smell. She sheds a lot, and I don't know if that's why, but she's not a smelly dog. I've never bathed her. She does go into like the freshwater, rivers, lakes, streams, things like that, the rock pools to wash off, but she really doesn't smell. And I also am able to air the van out almost all the time. The question I think was, what happens when there's bad weather and I can't open the van? When there's bad weather, I leave. I just don't stick around where I can't have the van open. I'm really lucky that I can do that, but honestly, she really doesn't smell. And if I have to, sometimes I get cooking smells in there. I will burn incense, and I really like that. Gets then impregnated into the fabrics and the wood and everything, and I like the way that smells. But look, I'm really lucky that Abby's a short-haired dog and she doesn't have a doggy smell to her. Not that I know anyway. All right, the next question comes from my friend Kyle's. Has Abby ever chewed anything in the van, and what do I do to keep her entertained? All right, first of all, Abby has never chewed anything in the van, Kyle's. But also she's older. So she was already 7 and a half when we moved into the van. When she was younger, She was a little destruction puppy. She chewed everything. She is half a beagle and they're big chewers. But luckily at 7.5 years of age, that stopped. So she's never chewed anything in the van. And I don't really have to keep her entertained. I walk her twice a day, morning and night, for like a decent walk. And then sometimes, usually around 2:30, we'll go for a short toilet break walk. But Abby sleeps all day like this. She always has. Even when she was a puppy, walk her in the morning, she sleeps all day, walk her at night, she sleeps all night. So she's not really at the having to entertain her stage anymore. She's also a really good travel dog because she loves new smells and new places. She loves it so much, and I just let her, I keep her on a lead always, but I just let her sniff around and it exhausts her, it wears her right out. So I entertain her mostly by taking her for walks and letting her sniff, and luckily she's older now and she doesn't chew things like other people's dogs that I know. The next one is 2 questions. First one is, what's the naughtiest thing Abby's ever done in the van? There are 2 things I can think of, which aren't that bad. Or three. First thing is, she gets off the lead. She wriggles out of her harness. She is like a Houdini. Doesn't matter how tight I make it, she wriggles out of her harness and she will wander off. It doesn't happen a lot. It usually happens maybe if she gets stuck. So she might wrap herself around a pole or something, and if I haven't noticed, she'll wiggle herself out. She really doesn't go far and she knows to stick around the van, so that's not terrible. The other thing she has done is dig holes under the van. So when it's hot in summer and we're at a caravan park, and she has dug some holes in the grass, which isn't terrible, but I'm not happy that she does that. So yeah, she dug a few holes. And the third thing is, she ate my nuts one day. I had a packet of almonds in the front seat that I was snacking on while I was driving, and I stopped to go to the toilet and I came back and she'd eaten my nuts, which I wasn't happy about. And very out of character for her. She doesn't normally eat things. So look, I'm really lucky again, like I said, she's older and she's not really naughty anymore. She's cheeky as anything. She bosses me around. I know who the boss is, but she's not really naughty anymore. The second part to that question was, what are our sleeping arrangements? Abby very kindly lets me share the bed with her. I have a single mattress bed. It is a little bit narrower than a regular, but it's a full length. And Abby and I sleep on the bed together. She actually gets under the covers with me. She's often at the foot of the bed, but then if it's cold, she will come up and cuddle with me. So that's why I have this bed this length. When she passes, I'll probably get a narrower bed. It's really interesting because for the first 2 years, okay, this angle's not working, let's change. For the first 2 years, she actually slept in the front seat in her bed. She didn't want to come in the back with me. She was very happy up there, curled up in the front seat, which is where she travels when we drive. But lately, last few years, she sleeps in the back with me. And look, she's great in winter to keep you warm, but in summer, like last night, I'm like, could you go away? It gets a bit hot. So we sleep together in the bed, which I did in a house as well. My dogs sleep in bed with me. My dogs are my family. I'm going to stand up for this one. And this question, I think I know also came from Kyle's, is about how do I find dog-friendly bushwalks? I'll use wiki camps a lot. There have been times where I've pulled up and even though wiki camps didn't have that it wasn't dog friendly, there is a sign that says no dogs. I mostly will go places and I look for a sign that says no dogs, and if it doesn't say it, then I'll assume it's okay. But yeah, I haven't really had a problem. Again, wiki camps, you could ask at information centres. I have done that. I'll go into an information centre in the town and go, can you tell me where the dog friendly walks are? I'll be honest, some of them don't know. Some of them don't know. And I've had some that have said, oh, well, it's a sign says no dogs, but all the locals go. And I'm like, yeah, no, the sign says no dogs, I'm not going to go. I'm a real rule follower, people. I'm a real rule follower. I always have been. And also the question was, what happens if I have to drive through national parks? So if you have to drive through a national park and there isn't a sign that says dogs can't come in at all, like I'll give an example. Sterling Ranges, you have to drive through the national park to get to the other side. The dog's not let out of the van, I'm just driving, I'm not pulling over. An opposite situation is the treetop walk down in Walpole, where it says if you have a dog or a cat in the vehicle, turn around now. They don't want you to, don't even bother going in. Don't even bother. And look, I can't hide Abby. She's in the front seat. Again, I'm a rule follower. I respect that the rules are there for a reason. I really believe these rules are there for a reason and not just arbitrarily to upset me or to make me not do something. I really believe that. So national parks are an issue. I have driven into some where I can stop at a lookout, but again, don't get out of the van. Abby doesn't get out of the van. So yeah, it can be a bit restricting, but you just go with the flow. And especially if you've been in the area for a bit, you start to know where the good walks are that you can go with a dog. All right, so last question, I thought I'd come in out of the sun. It's getting a bit warm out there, I need to get my hat on. So the last question is about using a pet sitter. So there's a lady that has signed up to be a pet sitter for people, and she wants to travel with her dogs and doesn't want to miss out on the national parks. So pet sitting is a great option. I do know when I went through Mount Gambier in South Australia at the information centre, they'll give you a list of pet sitters in the area. So it's a great option if it'll work for your dog. It would have worked for Abby when she was younger, but it won't work for her now. Even when I get somewhere, people that she knows, if I leave, she gets a bit of panic. So it's not an option for me at this point, and I'm okay with that. I don't have a fear of missing out. That's going to be a whole other video, but if, I'll answer some questions, but I don't have a fear of missing out on something. So again, I can do these things when Abby passes, or I just accept that I can't do them, and it's okay. It's okay. But if you can leave your dog with a pet sitter, that's great, and go for it, definitely. I know there's sometimes people at campsites will take turns taking care of pets, so they can go off and do things. So there are options that you can do. Those options won't work for me and Abby. Like I said, she'll get a bit of panic. They won't, and Abby can be a handful. She can be a handful. She looks so sweet and good, but when she's not, she's not. And she gets demanding and she can get anxiety and panic. So yeah, pet sitting is a great option. So there was one more question that didn't come up, but when I was Googling last night about dogs in vans, I see what other people were saying. There was one thing that somebody said which was really, really good and really made sense. Not every dog is suitable for this lifestyle. So you really need to think about your dog and what it's like. Abby is so suited for this. She loves adventure. She loves going new places. She loves the drive. She sits up there watching. She loves exploring new places. She loves bushwalks, no end. So she's a really good dog for this, but I did try her out before I got the van. I started taking her different places in the car all the time, going new places. We did it overnight in the car, and she loved it so much. So I knew that, but you need to see if your dog is going to be suitable for living in a van. Not every dog will be. If your dog doesn't drive very well, then that's not going to work. If your dog gets anxiety at new places, that might not work. So yeah, you need to take into account what your dog is actually like. Abby is made for this. She loves to be outside all day. All day. She'd rather be outside than in the van. I have her on the lead and she's out there enjoying the weather, watching what's going on. So yeah, think about what kind of dog you have. All right, that's all the answers to the questions about dogs, and I'll put a link to the other 3 videos I've made in the description below. If not, there's a playlist about van life with a dog. All right, thank you for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this, there's a new thing called hype. Can you hype this? So you know how I used to say give it a thumbs up? Please still give it a thumbs up. But YouTube now has hype. So if you push hype, that lets YouTube know that you like my video and you get so many hype points anyway. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.